Crushing on, bonafide, stood on everything that I stepped on. I can get it gone in a blink.
Stack money.
We can make a from the sink.
Money.
He can make a call if he tweet.
Black money.
I can make a ball when I speak.
Rap money.
Brother used to hide 100. The hashback partner used to bust a couple scams off of Snapchat. Shorty tryna come up on the bands cause of that. We don't give a Uncle Sam if you ask that. Where the cash at? They couldn't see.
It's week 14 of the NFL. We'll get a look at Joe Burrow. After his last game, he's now across 3,000 yards for the season. It's the Bengals and the Ravens on Thursday night primetime.
Some might say it's cold. Others, like myself and my partner, we say this is football weather as we welcome you to chilly M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. And tonight we start week 14 of the NFL season with a great Thursday night matchup, as it'll be the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Baltimore Ravens. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. The number 8, Lamar Jackson, trotting onto the field at quarterback, ready to lead this Ravens offense.
You talk about the pause that refreshes. I think it's come at a perfect time of the year for them, hasn't it? You know, it's the season is starting to wind down, got a little bit of a break. But how about the guy calling the signals? He's got to be excited about that because now he didn't just get a game plan for 1 week. He was able to work on it for 2 weeks. I can't wait to see if they have anything special in store for him today.
They'll start on the ground with Dobbins. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. Second down. Well, this defense for the Bengals, they were excellent a week ago in that victory over Indianapolis.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defensive coordinator about their performance last week because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there. But a tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. They'll try to draw here with Dobbins. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven first down. First carry now for Justice Hill. That's a pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
On second down, Jackson. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Keely Ringo picks it off. And the Bengals are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. Remember, Charles, this is the number 1 defense in the NFL, and they proved their mettle here, forcing the turnover on the opening possession.
And sometimes when you play a team that has that reputation, that's earned it by their play, the psychology is, okay, they're number 1. They have to prove it to us, and they tried to attack. They found out that that ranking was real.
And if history is any indication, when this defense gets off to a good start, look out.
Yeah, their offense plays off of them awfully well, too.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 48. They start the drive with Cook. Room here to run. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. Here's Burrow. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. The Bengals hit 9-3 here on the year. And they've been playing their best football of the year. Winners of 4 in a row.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Odafe Oweh showing off the pass rush skills. So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw. Cook up the gut. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to 4th down. McPherson's kick is good. And the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. So the opening drive stalls out, but the field goal does get them the first points of the night.
And 3 points, not to be underestimated. How about this, right? You're on the road. You're under the lights. National television audience. This is not a dress rehearsal, partner. This is for real. And a pretty nice opening statement.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Baltimore set to take over here for their second possession of the game. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
On second down, a run with Dobbins. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Charles Lee won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy. And that's what they're doing early in this game.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Here's Jackson. Yet again, targeting and finding Mark Andrews. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another first down as he went right back to the same well, this time for 17 yards. Now it's Jackson. And that is incomplete. Now the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
Brandon, watching their tape from last week, I saw plenty of plays like we just saw there, forcing incompletions. It was key in their win last week. They're hoping the same thing happens this time out, too.
Now Jackson on second down. And he comes back with one complete. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook.
Touchdown! Odell Beckham, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Ravens have answered that early field goal to take a first-quarter lead. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays. And it's OBJ, Odell Beckham, who ends it with a touchdown reception. The Bengal offense on their way out as we look at the playoff race in the AFC. And for the moment, they're sitting pretty in possession of that number 2 seed. But as we know it often happens, this is all still subject to change.
You're so right about that. But even though the math isn't there yet, I think it's going to take new math for them not to make the playoffs. They're almost certainly going to be in the tournament and certainly going to be a dangerous team if you have to play against them.
On second down, it's Cook again. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and are controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Start of the second quarter, and it's the Bengals in control of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Now it's Burrow. And complete right side to Cook. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. So the completion good for 7 there. And that'll bring up second down.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. We just saw shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play. One-on-one matchup with someone trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those, too.
Here we go.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Burrow on play action. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Blowing that play up, Roquan Smith as he gets the sack. So on 4th down, on is Brad Robbins to punt for the Bengals. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. On the return is Reed. A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. They come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game.
DC, right? DC.
Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. He'll swing this out to Dobbins. So the completion good for just 3. And that'll make it 2nd down.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down.
It is certainly becoming rarer by the year to see a franchise guy take a hit like that. The defender couldn't believe he had a shot to light him up. So when you take off and run, you have to make sure you can slide, get out of bounds, anything. Just don't leave yourself open to hits like that.
Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. Tucker's kick is good, and they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the 2 teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat. Make sure he touches it a few times. But as you pointed out, use him as a decoy a little bit and get the ball in the hands of some other people in order to put more points on the board. But he's done a really nice job of establishing them with his running.
Yeah, he's established himself well. Now can they put more points up?
Here we go.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay.
Delay of game. Offense.
Well, everybody was up there ready at the line of scrimmage, CD, but no snap, and the delay of game ensued.
Yeah, and I'm sure their head coach is asking the exact same thing. What's going on out there? Almost like they thought they had more time than actually was on the clock.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. These two teams met in Cincinnati earlier in the year with the Bengals coming out on top. So a win here in Baltimore would give them the season sweep.
On one, ready?
Still 15 yards to go, 2nd down. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Finds his man, it's John Mechie. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That one good for 26 and a 1st down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Now this throw caught left side. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down. Now it's Burrow. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Here we go.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Here we go.
Again, it's Burrow. Open man downfield is Chase. He's got it. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Jamar Chase, 38 yards. And the Bengals are an extra point away from evening this one up. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
Evan McPherson for the extra point. And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it was Jamar Chase who finished it off with a touchdown reception. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. And they were winners the last time they took the field, which was 2 weeks ago. They had the open week last week, so this is a squad that should be really refreshed and ready to roll.
I would agree, because when you get that open week after a victory, it does wonders for everyone. Obviously, your body get a chance to heal up, but your mind as well. You feel good about winning, so now you get away from it for a few days, put down the playbook, turn off the film. Just be you. Enjoy that time away, and then you come back ready to go.
Right back to Dobbins on first. And he will make his way back to where he started from, and that's all, as we will make our way to the 2-minute warning. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. Now it's Jackson. They set up the screen for Dobbins. He'll be dropped shy of the 40 despite powering through the tackle. Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up third. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. On third down, Jackson. Looking deep here for Flowers. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down. Facing fourth down, Baltimore will punt. Jordan Stout out there. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And some strong running. It's a 45-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Bengals take over first and 10. Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Looking deep here for Mechie. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
And they're not going to go quietly into this halftime break. They know they're in for a fight, so they're trying to make every possession count. They took the big shot there, but it winds up incomplete.
Now a second and 10. They go play action with Burrow. Looking deep here for Chase. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, it was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a third and 10. And they go play action now. Burrow. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
Here comes Reed. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. And they will take over first and 10. The Raven offense going to take over late in this first half. And with good starting field position and 3 timeouts as well in their pocket, no reason not to try and put a late scoring drive together. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
That sure looked like a nice call by the defense, and they're very cohesive in their coverage. As soon as he cut inside, they broke on the football and met him as the ball got there and forced the incompletion.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
On third down, here's Dobbins. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. Fourth down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. This first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. The Bengal offense going to see the ball one more time in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Looking deep here for Mechie. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
But no kneeling for them. They decided they weren't going to run out the clock. They decided to take their shot downfield, hoping to either make a connection or a pass interference call. They wanted more points to put on the board.
Burrow will throw. And got his man complete. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So the big play gets him across midfield now for first and 10. Now Burrow. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
We know he has a lot of confidence in his arm and likes to force it downfield, but the coverage was tight there. Fortunate it wasn't picked off.
So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. And this will be spotted on the other side of the field. It's a 61-yard attempt. McPherson's kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we've hit halftime, just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you two in just a moment.
Well, we're in the latter stages of this season. Everybody's getting antsy, so antsy that we're going to skip the halftime and get ready for the third quarter. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. No run back here to begin the half, and we will start at the 25-yard line. The Bengal offense now with the football first here to begin quarter number 3. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
And he'll take this to the 32, a gain of about 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
And so many times we look at the opening drive of the third quarter as a tone setter, and many coaches do emphasize it. And that's a strong performance there defensively to force incompletion and, more importantly, force a quick punting situation.
We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Over the middle, complete. It's Flowers. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down. 6 yards there on the keeper at 2nd down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. 53 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 41. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. But the passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Now Jackson. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range. Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still, they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. Defense doing their job, really nowhere to run the football.
Yeah, it's almost textbook, wasn't it? Every place he tried to find an open spot, there just wasn't one. Congrats to the defense, no gain.
Call fitting your gaps, right?
I love it. They're exactly right.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Well, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday night in the NFL. 3rd quarter, 2nd and 10 coming up. A throw there, but that's going to wind up in the week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to...
Touchdown, Bengals! A great play there. 26 yards. And they are able to add on to their advantage. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the 3rd quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Ravens offense getting set and ready for this next drive. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Now Dobbins again on 2nd down. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 70 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. They'll send the big tight end in motion right. On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
2nd and 9. An option handoff here to Dobbins. A good burst there, gets him 7 up to midfield.
And while the guys with the ball are having a whole lot of fun keeping it on the ground, the guys on the opposite side, they are having zero fun. They've been getting pushed around the entire game and haven't found an answer yet to slow down the running game.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Hey, middle. Hey, you.
They'll try and run for it with Hill. And able to pick up the first across midfield to the 47. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Ravens with possession of the football, but trailing on the big board as we get set for the fourth. Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
Well, sometimes, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the first down, close it out. And anytime you see a kicker trot out to try one from 56 yards, everything's got to come off perfectly for it to have a chance. If the laces aren't quite right, if he doesn't hit the fat part of the ball just right, it's unlikely to go through, and that one winds up no good.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at their own 46. He'll start by handing it off to Dalvin Cook, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Here's Cook again. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
From midfield now, Burrow. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. Those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
The Bengals bring out their punter now. They'll boot it away from about his 35. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. And now here come the Ravens. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down. From the gun, it's Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Jackson. Crossing the field, Beckham makes the catch. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 45-yard line. Here's Jackson to throw. Slings it to Andrews, and it's complete. The tight end has it. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Jackson on first down. And looking for Andrews, but this is intercepted. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. And the Bengals are going to get the football here at their own 23. Well, down 2 scores in the 4th quarter. It maybe wasn't quite desperation time, but it was getting close. And that interception there on the deep ball, that probably slams the door on their chances.
And maybe that was the thought process, that it wasn't quite desperation time. So now you take the shot before they're going to lay back any farther on defense. Go ahead and throw it downfield. Unfortunately, it didn't work.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 23. He's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 92 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Mechie, the man in motion. And they'll go on the ground. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Here we go.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. On 2nd down, Cook. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. Throwing now is Joe Burrow. Now throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete. When they need to play on 3rd down, you kind of know what direction the ball's going, but the defense knew it too.
Yeah, it's a good call because they wanted to put 2 men on him, and they did. Dare him to throw into double coverage. Really what you're saying is, let's see if one of your other receivers can beat us.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Bengals try it, but it doesn't work out. And the Ravens are going to get the football back. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Jackson. Into the hands of Beckham. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
The 2 timeouts still remaining, but scoring quickly, a must. It's 1st and 10. The throw over the middle taken in. Here comes 2nd down. Jackson. Throwing middle, and it's complete. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in quarter number 4. Whether it's a touchdown or a field goal, whatever it is, they need to score quickly here on 1st down. Jackson to throw. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a non-stop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
And he's going to be taken down, but there's a penalty flag in the backfield. Is this a hold or did they rough the quarterback? But Charles, they're trying to protect this lead late. Those are the types of mistakes they could afford to go without.
About the last thing you want to give them is help in completing a comeback, which is exactly.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Sauce Gardner picks it off, and the Bengals are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here. Maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
And he's up past the 10 to about the 12. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 33 seconds remaining. Another run on 2nd down, trying to cover up. And he will have a Bengals 1st down, and it's celebration time on that sideline, and they've earned it. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield Incomplete.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
This ball down the field for Pitts. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end, but now this game is over. So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just